Hi, I'm Danny. Today we're going to be going through some glute stretches. All we're going to need is a bench or just something to sit on, and then we may need a wall. So let's get to it. So this glute stretch is super simple to perform. I'd certainly recommend it at the end of a cool down after a workout, just to make sure that the glute is stretched. So what we're going to do is we're going to place both feet out in front. We're going to bend one leg and bring it over the straight leg. As I bring my knee in towards my chest, I'm going to think about bringing it up to the opposite shoulder. So as I pull in, I'm going to bear hug my leg and then pull across. And then I should be feeling a nice stretch along the side of my bum, keeping that tension for about 30-40 seconds. So we can, if this is part of the cool down, we can just hold that for 30-40 seconds on both sides. If we're wanting to do it as a stretch to develop our flexibility, then we want to do it on both sides, a little bit of rest in between, and do about 3 sets. This stretch is what's called the 90-90. So from this position, what we're going to look to do is sitting onto our side. We're going to have one foot in front at 90 degrees and the back foot at a 90-degree angle as well. So from the side, it's going to look like this. So from here, if we're already feeling a stretch, if we're already kind of like being pushed towards the side, as so, then we may already be feeling a stretch within the glute here on the left hand side, so the leg that's on the front. If that is the case, then what we can do is we kind of look at just basically walking our hands round, so then we're getting closer to this knee. If in this position we're actually quite comfortable, what we're going to look at is placing the foot on the hand on the foot at the front, and then supporting ourselves with the other hand and thinking about leaning forward towards this knee. So the further down we go, the more of an intense stretch that we're going to feel on this leg. Now, if once we've been able to kind of fold ourselves over, what we can think about, if that's too easy, is making sure our back's nice and straight, really pushing through the hips, hinging through the hips, and feeling that stretch again. So you should be able to find a position that's giving you kind of like a sufficient stretch. So of course, make sure you're holding that for about 30-40 seconds, swapping sides. If this is part of your cool down, then you only need to do it a couple of times. However, if you're looking to develop your flexibility, I'd suggest doing this at least 3 sets. So holding for 30-40 seconds, and then you can also kind of experiment just by moving your body around, feeling potential places where you're feeling more of an intense stretch. Taking the glute stretch to a bench or even a sofa, what we're going to do is we're going to place one leg onto the other. So from here, if we're up here, that's absolutely fine. What we can focus on is basically slowly bringing this leg down up until we're around this kind of point. Now, even when it's higher, we can still perform the glute stretch. So what I want to do is kind of perch on to the very end of the bench. From here, pushing my back so it's in a neutral, straight position, and then simply leaning forward. So the more I lean forward, the more I'm going to feel the stretch in the leg that's bent. And then I'm just going to stay there in that area for about 30-40 seconds, and again swapping sides. So if we do find that we're kind of in this position, we can still get a good glute stretch simply by still leaning forward. Now, if we are here, the chances are we're already feeling a stretch in this position. So we can just stay upright, just applying a little bit of pressure to this knee, just relaxing into it. And of course, with time, with practice, we will be able to get that leg flat. So we're in this position, and then we can think about leaning forward, going as far as we can, and just resting in this position. Again, feeling the stretch on the bum in the same place as we did with the previous one. This is just but a taste of the information that we need for these stretches, so make sure that you do stick around for more.